I think nearly every single person that has watched the episode 2 of TADC got fooled. Most of you probably watched the little trailer for episode 2 before the actual release. In there, we saw Jax looking down at the water and playing around with the water with his finger. Now, whenever people are sitting down and hunched over, we pretty much assume that they are sad because that is very common for people who are sad. But we got fooled, and this should have been one of the most predictable things in episode 2. But everything has been kind of overanalyzed. But now that we have watched the episode, we can pretty much say that Jax is very wicked. I mean, he was out for chaos in that episode, and I might have a couple theories for that and future episodes in regard to Jax. So let's get into it. I assume most of you have probably watched episode 1 maybe once or twice or even more. I know that you have seen how Jax's personality is. In one of my past theories about Jax, I actually theorized that Jax was kind of the cool kid in his past life, and one of the reasons for that theory was because of his age. It is actually confirmed that he's 22 years old, making him the youngest character in TADC, just a few months younger than Subal. But since we know he's 22 years old, we can kind of make assumptions on him being not so mature, in other words, immature. Science kind of confirms that women usually mature faster than men, so from a scientific standpoint, we can say that Jax hasn't matured yet. Now, him being immature might actually explain his wickedness and what he has been through in his past life. So, let's get into some couple things about Jax. At the start of episode 1, when Pomni arrived all confused and asking how to leave, Kane kind of froze, and Ragatha tried to explain the situation, but Jax just interrupted her. And just from that, we already got a little sneak peek to what his whole personality is about.
Don't freak out about it or anything, but we don't exactly...
You can't!
Imagine you just arrived in the circus and wanting to leave, then a person just straight up says that you can't, while having a grin on their face. Wouldn't you be mad? Well, personally, I would go crazy. But back to Jax. When Kane starts the adventure in the circus, Subal tries to walk off, but she got dragged into the adventure even though she didn't want to, and Jax just didn't want to help her at all and says, "Oh no, they killed Subal. Anyway, you guys want to get something to eat?"
Oh no, they killed Subal. Anyway, you guys want to go get something to eat?
And this is something that explains his character a little too well. But there's one thing that tops the cake off with Jax and his whole wickedness. In episode 2, when they completed the adventure in the Candy Canyon Kingdom, the circus members and Gummy Goo was about to walk through the portal to go back to the circus. But then there was a really loud explosion behind them and probably near the walls of the kingdom. And who do we think it is? Probably the Fudge Monster. Because we know that Jax promised the Fudge Monster that he can get into the kingdom if he helps the circus members catch the bandits, who were Gummy Goo, Max, and Chat. And he kind of did catch them, so Jax did what was promised. He left the kingdom's gate open, and the Fudge Monster probably got in and ate some of the citizens, if not all of them, including Princess Lolilalu.
Oh hey, maybe I didn't leave the gate unlocked for nothing after all.
What? I thought he was dead! You still did that? Okay, wait. You did what now?
Well, love to help you again sometime, bye!
And honestly, this was just pure evil. Even though Jax is a human and they're just NPCs, they're still entities living within the land. And this is where you could debunk my theory with circus news. Everything stopped when the circus members got back to the circus, so that couldn't have happened. Well, we don't know that. And I'm still gonna go through with this theory because I do believe that the lands of the Candy Canyon Kingdom is still active and thriving, even though the Fudge Monster probably ate all the citizens. So just from this scene and what Jax did, I actually think that Jax was a very wicked person in his past life. I mean, not like a murderer or something, but just in his thoughts and actions. What I am referring to is that he did bad things. For example, he stomped on snails, killed plants, or maybe even bullied someone from his school. And this is actually where my theory gets more interesting, because I actually believe that Jax has bullied someone in his past life. We know that he's 22, meaning he's still immature, probably goes to university or is undergoing some kind of education, and those who go to school are part of a class. So I think he was with a group where the people are just like him, in other words, like-minded people. And usually those kinds of people bully others. So I strongly believe that he bullied someone to satisfy his needs. But is there not more to this theory than that he's just 22? Well, there is. Actually, in both episode 1 and 2, we can clearly see examples of him being somewhat of a bully. Let's take a look at the first episode. We see Pomni, Ragatha and Jax walking in the dorm room hall to find Kaufmo, who they think are in his room, and he was. But before unlocking the door to Kaufmo's room, Ragatha says that they can't access his room since they don't have a key to the room. But Jax says that he has a key to everyone's room, which is kind of creepy, and he says that it's fine and asks Ragatha if she's afraid of centipedes.
Maybe he's not in his room? I hope he's alright.
Don't worry, Dollface. I've got a key to his room.
Wait, why? You shouldn't have keys to anyone's room.
Nah, I've got keys everywhere, and you've all been fine. By the way, I may have left something in your room today, so let me know if you find it. You're not afraid of centipedes, are you?
Jax!
Well, you probably think that it's just for fun, but honestly, that is going over the edge. If someone put a giant spider in my room, I would be mad, really mad. So tell me down below if someone did something similar to you and how you would react. We know that Jax didn't want to drive the truck out to the Candy Desert since the horns were kind of... I'll play the clip.
I call shotgun. Is that the horn? Ugh, that sucks. Gangle, you drive.
And says that Gangle should drive instead. And this is where it starts to happen, because when they're caught up with the bandits, Jax says that they should ram the truck into the other truck, but Gangle is hesitant to do it. But Jax tells her that he will expose Gangle's secret and tell something about a figurine thing to Ragatha.
Hey, Gangle, you should ram into him.
What? You should not ram them. Tommy's still on board.
Do it, it'll be epic.
Why are there so many knives back here?
Do it, or I'll tell Ragatha about the figurine thing.
So apart from him breaking Gangle's mask even more in episode 1, he also blackmails her in episode 2. This all sounds like fun and games, but honestly, it's so bad. And that is exactly why I believe Jax to have been a bully in his past. But there are so many possibilities that can go over such a character. But there's still something about Jax that I just think that hasn't been spoken much about. I actually made a theory, so check it out after finishing this one, so you can connect my past theories to the theories in this video. What I think is that Jax is lonely. All of these actions against the circus members and his whole personality and even his age just makes me think that he's lonely and that it's just all a facade. He's hiding his true self. For example, before Kaufmo's funeral, Ragatha and Zubul brings up Kaufmo's funeral and that it's about time they mourn him. But when Jax heard this, his whole attitude and facial expression changed. He went from I don't care to being sad for a split second and then to having an angry body language.
Remember the people who
So I just think that Jax is hiding his true self. He's the youngest of the circus members and he did get transported to a random circus where he left everything behind, even though it wasn't his choice. But those were just my theories. Let me know what you think about them, and if you have your own theories, or if you want me to cover something in TADC. Thanks for watching, subscribe and click on this video here.